hope everybody out there is doing well. I miss y'all just like y'all miss me. But you know what? I've been sitting here trying to wrap my mind around all of this hype that's going on right now that's coming out of the gump. Everyone is thinking that Alabama State is ready to run the table and become the new SWAC champions this upcoming season. Once all the smoke clears and the season is over with, Alabama State is going to be holding up the trophy saying they are the champs of the SWAC, heading on to the Celebration Bowl to play whoever wins over there in the MEAC. Well, there's one thing that I had to look at with this, and I get everybody's going to say, well, hey, guess what? They got a quarterback over there now, Andrew Body. And Andrew Body's going to lead them to the promised land. Well, there's a lot of conversation about that as well. And we're going to touch on a few things that's going to get a little uncomfortable for some folks. And I understand. But you know what? Sometimes you got to say what you got to say and make it do what it do. But we're going to go ahead and talk about all these things right after this. Favorite Coach back at it again. 10 toes down, about to tell you how it all went down. This is Tomorrow Leader Sports Network with your host, Coach Walker. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can get all upcoming videos. For all my leaders out there, welcome back. Y'all know the drill. Y'all know the routine. If you haven't done so already, please like, comment, and share these videos. And tap me in the friend to tell them to come on in. It's double positive vibes. We're just having a good time talking about HBCU sports. And don't forget, you can follow us on all social media platforms. The links are listed down below in the description. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump on in this thing. I'm like, Coach, what's your thoughts on this? Well, I'm going to be honest with you. Head coach Eddie Robinson Jr. has the Hornet fan base over there in Montgomery, Alabama, got them excited about what could possibly happen this season. And everyone going into the season, they have the mindset of we're going to win the championship. That is the goal that everyone sets prior to the season starting. Now, looking at how everything is set up right now, they got the quarterback in place that can lead them on the victory and do the things that they need for them to do. They got a new offensive coordinator that's coming into the program. We got all of that. We understand all of that. All of the I's is dotted on that side as far as what's going on. You got a new running back that's coming in from Clark Atlanta University that's going to be the bell cow running the ball for the Hornets this upcoming season. Understood that too. I think the young man is DeQuan Kinsey, coming over from Clark Atlanta University. And then you got Chris Barnett, who's the new offensive coordinator that came over from Winston-Salem State University, who was also coached over at North Carolina A&T for some period of time, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm looking at how everything is building up here. And there's a lot of other teams that's in the SWAC that's, the competition as far as how things are going to play out this season. It's going to be something that, I think we're all going to enjoy. One thing I can say is each team within the SWAC on both the East and the West, both in East and the West divisions, everybody has gotten playmakers on their squads. Now, the thing is going to be, how does all of that come together where you can go ahead and mold all of that together for things to, roll the way that you need them to roll. And I looked at, I had to look at Alabama State from top to bottom as far as things that they got going on. And I can't forget, I know y'all gonna be like, hey, Coach, well, what about the kid, the linebacker that transferred over from, is it Arkansas Pine Bluff, the guy, I think he had like 100 and something tackles over there, if I'm not mistaken, last season. I haven't forgot about him either. That is the plug-in for Colton Adams, who moved on and decided that he was going to go to the NFL to try his hand over there to get himself over to the league to do that thing that he loved to do, which is play football, lay that hammer on folks, especially them running backs coming up in the hole, doing this thing like that. So wish him the best of luck as far as his future, with what he's looking to do. But I'm looking at, I'm just taking a gander. Yeah, I said gander. I'm taking a gander at the whole, the dynamics of the roster for the Alabama State Hornets. And I got to be real. Center Aurelius Dunn, he's being the catalyst that's going to be there, that's going to lead that offensive line. I got to give props on that is going to be a staple that's going to need to be their quarterback for Andrew Body to make sure that their protection is set up so that everybody's not back there on Body as he's back there in the pocket trying to throw the ball down the field or run option or whatever it is that they're looking to do. Now, one thing that I did check out was the film on Winston-Salem last year, which Coach Barnett, he did use multiple running backs in the running game so that they can, keep defenses off balance as far as what they were looking to do. Another thing that I did see was they rolled the pocket out from time to time as far as the quarterback rolling out onto the edge, just trying, throwing the ball from the outside instead of directly back there in the backfield, where, defenses get tee off on the quarterback and just, keep everything off balance. One thing I say is this. That's definitely going to be key for Andrew Body this season, especially after coming off the medical red shirt over into Alabama State, making sure hopefully they have a tight end that's going to be over there in the vicinity, making sure that they keep Body clean when he's trying to throw passes when he rolls out of the pocket, or slip that tight end down the field for a little dink and dump to, again, keep defenses guessing. Now, I'll say this. Looking at everything that's going on as far as how everything is structured, there's some key pieces that, on the defense. Like I said, you got the linebacker there. You got a couple of defensive players that are coming back. And you got other players that's going to fill in, in different spots where players did decide to leave, go in the transfer portal, or they no longer had any eligibility. One thing that I did see is looking at how everything is structured, I'm hoping that the development is going on with the program over there so that everything, is seamless this season. If not, this is where the trouble is going to happen. The trouble is going to happen basically because of the depth at certain positions, key positions. There's nowhere in the world any injuries can happen this season based on how everything is structured right now. Yeah, you got some receivers over there, big tall receivers. They got a 6'5" receiver, another 6'3" receiver. You got a couple of receivers over there that's going to be able to, get out there and make plays. Of course, everyone's going to say, well, Keshawn Johnson was the first option. That's who they wanted to throw the ball to all the time, blah, blah, blah. Listen, Keshawn Johnson was getting open in games. I'm just going to be honest with you. Keshawn Johnson, you can daggone count on him coming down with the ball when the ball was thrown up in the air for him to catch a pass from the quarterback. So from that standpoint, you really can't get mad about all of that, what's going on. Now, I will say, looking at the spring game, you did see some things where, you saw some great things. Andrew Body was able to sling that ball down the field, 70 yards to a receiver where he was able to catch it over his shoulder, whatever have you. Again, guys, that's dress rehearsal. That's dress rehearsal. I'm going to say this, and I think some of y'all gonna get upset with Coach when I tell you this. I honestly feel Alabama State's going to be a pretty daggone good team this season. The only problem is looking at how everything's going to mesh together as far as with the team and all of the new players that's coming in. There wasn't a lot of, I want to say there wasn't a lot of moving around as far as with bringing in additional pieces into the program unless unless this information is not popping up. And again, we have to wait and see when kickoff goes as far as what the team is going to look like exactly when they play against. I think they play with North Carolina Central University. I got a show coming up on that as well. Coach been over here getting a study on trying to check out certain things as far as what can we expect this upcoming season. Because I want to make sure I give you the content that you're looking for and there's not a bunch of fluff with a whole bunch of whatever. So let me get back to this here. But I'm looking at how all of this is structured right now. And I'm going to be honest with you. If you were to ask me right now what my thoughts are as far as what Alabama State is going to be able to do this season, I'm going to say their record probably will be the same. I think they was, 7-4 last season. I believe they're going to either go 7-4 or 6-5. I don't see them running it. I don't see them gassing everybody out in the manner in which a lot of folks is anticipating them on doing. Remember, they play FAMU first. I think they play FAMU, week 3, week 4? So that's going to be the first test between those two teams. And looking at what FAMU is doing over there in Tallahassee, you got to give them some credit as well. Yes, I understand everybody saying, well, they lost a lot of pieces. Well, heck, guess what? Alabama State lost a lot of pieces as well. So if we're going to call it from that standpoint, let's look at it straight up and down as far as everything that's going on and understand that playmakers is going to be out there on the field. Yes, there's going to be some athletes. There's going to be a position that really didn't play last season. They didn't really get that burn. So we got to wait and see exactly what they're going to do and how they're going to adjust to now having a bigger role within the offense or the defense. Some of the athletes that's going to be there, I think those lights might be a little too bright for them, or in some instances, a couple of them might be, excuse my vernacular, a little light in the ass when it comes to certain positions out there on the field where you're going to see them in them trenches, and them trenches going to get blown up. It's going to look pretty gruesome out there. But I will say this. I like what Coach Eddie Robinson is doing. I think they are maybe a year away of really building this thing up to get it to where it needs to go. Because, again, there's a lot of athletes that's on the team that have not touched the field. They haven't done much of anything as far as holding a bigger role. Like you playing, I mean, you got some athletes might have played in 1 or 2 games and maybe, they got 4 or 5 snaps in them games, because it's garbage time. So now we got to really see exactly what's going on, what's the coaching going on with over there. Again, Alabama State last season, they were with a top 3 in the running and passing on defense. But you got to take into consideration all of the athletes that were lost out there on the field, especially those DBs. So from a defensive back standpoint, if you got a quarterback on your team and you got receivers that can blow the doors off that thing and get that ball down the field, I hope your corners is ready to cover, because if not, somebody gonna get their draw snatched off and it's gonna look real bad out there on the field. So I'm just looking at the little nuances here and there, looking at little things here and there to get an understanding of what's going on. I understand the excitement of Andrew Body being in Montgomery, Alabama. I will be at a couple of those games this season. I'm gonna go ahead and mark that right now, because you will see me there. But again, like I said, right now, this preseason going into this thing, I honestly believe that I think they will either duplicate their record last year or they are declined by a game and go 6-5. I think they might have an opportunity to be there, but I think when the game gets tight, because they haven't been in those situations of having to break through and fight through certain situations to get over the hump, I think that's what's going to cost them. Now, I know some of y'all going to be like, well, hey, coach, you ain't talking about Andrew Body only playing in 9 games. Listen, the young man, if the young man got time in the pocket, he can sling that ball around the field with just about anybody. But the thing is, what are you going to do to keep him off balance, guessing where the pressure is going to come from on the defense? That's what's going to have to happen, along with the offensive line for Alabama State. They're going to need to make sure that their heads are on a swivel to protect their quarterback, to keep him from getting knocked around back there in their pocket. So it's going to be a lot of things that's going to take place as far as how everything is going to go. Like I stated before, looking at how that offense was structured over there at Winston-Salem State University last season, it's going to be a lot of moving pieces out there that teams are going to have to pay attention to. If these teams are not able to pay attention to catch on to what Alabama State is doing, then guess what? They very well may be that team standing there in the end, holding up their trophy saying, guess what? I told y'all we was going to get it done. So, guys, that's Coach's thoughts on that right now, but I'm going to go ahead and get up on out this thing. But until next time, be the one and lead.